Japan's strangest unsolved mysteries. And we're just gonna chill and react to it. We're just gonna chill and react to it. Damn, this is a long video. Get comfortable, y'all. We got some Jason emotes. Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah, we got some Jason emotes coming, y'all. We got some Rose Gang emotes coming. Emotes are on the way. Fire. Fire tones. Fire. Alright, everyone kick back and relax. We're going to react to this. This is going to be a YouTube video, so I wish I could have the chat on the screen, but yeah, Tones is on that. Tones is on that for sure. Alright, this is going to be, let me see, react. It's a video. Let me see how. All right, look. So if you ever wanted to know Japan's strangest unsolved mystery, we about to find out. I don't know what it is, but I guarantee it's some crazy stuff. So let's go ahead and see. Y'all can hear it?
Monday. The peak is shrouded in fog. It's the aftermath of one of the most violent storms to hit the area in months. A search helicopter powers through the mist, scouring the region for a pair of hikers from Tokyo who set out the day prior and haven't been seen or heard from since. This hunt has been ongoing for hours, sunlight dwindling as search teams comb every crevice, yet find no trace of anyone around. But as nightfall takes its grip, enveloping the area in complete blackness, suddenly, something strange enters their view. Just south of Mount Asahi Dake, a crudely constructed, massive SOS sign beckons from a clearing. It's undeniable that the missing hikers have made this, and it's a damn good thing they did, because with conditions like these...
Damn, so I don't mean to pause it, but if you were missing like in the woods or something, would you think to, this is actually smart, would you think to put like some sticks together and make some big SOS sign? Like, that's smart. Everybody, I know we're doing this for entertainment purposes, but everybody take notes just in case we, you know, God forbid we ever get lost in the woods. This is what you do.
Finding them otherwise would have been nearly impossible. The team swarms the area with newfound hope that these hikers just might be hiding nearby. They search and search and search until finally they find them. About a mile north, the two men emerge from a cave. They are completely disoriented, battered, and exhausted, but most prominently are in complete disbelief that the rescuers found them. As they're pulled up into the aircraft, the search team reassures them that they're gonna be okay before commending them on their efforts while out there. "We couldn't have found you without your help," they claim. "You guys did a really great job building that sign." The men pause for a minute, visibly confused. "I'm sorry. We didn't build the sign."
I knew it.
We have no idea what you're talking about.
They didn't build a sign, so scratch everything I said earlier about it being a smart idea. This shit just got real. Somebody said it was Bigfoot. If God, I hope not.
You know, I'll admit, the island of Hokkaido is beautiful. It's a landscape adorned with volcanic mountaintops, trails with serene views, and a multitude of steam vents giving the area an almost dreamlike aesthetic.
He said beautiful. That looks like ass.
It's no wonder that it's one of the most popular hiking spots in Japan, as no matter what time of year you go, you're bound to have an experience you'll never forget. From the summit of Mount Asahidake, it was 2.6 miles directly south where the SOS sign awaited. Resting in a relatively flat wetland, it was constructed with 19 cleanly cut birch tree logs, each measuring at around 16 feet long. Interestingly, the deviation down here is considerably longer than the main hiking trail on the mountain, making its existence entirely perplexing. As far as it's known, there are no trails south of this mountain, implying that whoever built it had to have made their diversion from the north. A detour littered with steep cliffs, a dense forest, and even the turbulent Chubetsu River. At this point, it's completely unknown how this person got here, and for Japanese police, it was undeniable that a mystery was brewing on the mountain. Someone is still out there, likely pleading for help.
Wait, so I'm confused. So there was two people that were hiking that got lost. There was police or whatever looking for them. They seen the SOS sign. They used that to find them. But somebody else made the sign? If that's the case, I'd be so pissed because the branches and stuff that they used was like 16 feet long or something like that. Imagine you're like, oh my God, like I'm lost right now. Like I gotta do something. You come up with this master plan. You're hauling these big branches because you're like, they gotta see it from the sky, blah, blah, blah. You put it together, it says SOS. You look back at it, you're like, yeah, there's no way I'm not found. I'm gonna go chill over here. They see it, they come down, and they find two other people that didn't even build your sign. They save them. They leave, and you come out of your cave after taking a nap, and you're like, no. I built the sign. That's insane if that happened. When did the mountains come into play? I think they were hiking. And these mountains are like known for hiking. I'm not sure. Oh, we about to find out though.
One day later, a second team is dispatched to probe the area for any signs of hikers in distress, this time with emphasis on the wetland the sign sits in. And while they all held out hope of finding someone still alive, unfortunately, just a few short hours into their search, they'd uncover quite the contrary.
Fuck.
Hidden near the SOS sign are scattered human remains covered in bite marks from wildlife, and nearby, a backpack containing various items. a Sony Walkman, 4 cassette tapes, toothpaste, a bar of soap, and a towel. At first glance, it's obvious that the belongings in the human bones are connected. However, a curious question lingered in everyone's mind. How did this person with enough energy and strength to build an SOS sign out of 19 massive logs allow themselves to die in nature? For the rescue team, nothing further was discovered that day. For what it's worth, though, this seemed like a pretty open and shut case. Locals have claimed that the weather on this mountain is volatile, with thunderstorms rolling in with hardly any notice. Perhaps this person got turned around, mistakenly made their way down here, and spent their final days awaiting help that never came.
Damn.
The sight at the SOS sign and the story it tells is grim, but all things considered, this case again.
Oh, so in the beginning it was just like a little teaser of what's about to happen, and then now they're breaking down the story? No, that can't be it, because they found those two and they saved them. This guy they found passed away with teeth marks in him. And all he had in his backpack was some soap, some toothpaste, a towel. I don't know where he thought he was about to take a shower. But and 2 more hikers just walked up to the SOS sign. Damn, I don't know. It's about to get real.
Seemed relatively straightforward. Someone passed away here and built an SOS sign before it happened. The only question really was, who was it? And how exactly did they get here?
Somebody said toothpaste and no toothbrush in the backpack is crazy. All right, 2 days later, what they find out?
Two days pass, and examiners from the Asahikawa Medical University notify Hokkaido police that the human bones belong to a female.
Damn.
Reportedly, she was about 5 foot 3 inches tall, had type O blood, was somewhere between 20 and 40 years old at the time of her death, carried bone fractures in multiple locations, and died within the span of 1 to 3 years prior. Aside from this, there was no further identifying information about her, and effectively, she was consistent.
What the fuck was that?
Something is wrong. This doesn't make any sense at all. Upon calculating the weight of the SOS logs by utilizing numerous wood weight charts online, I found that 16-foot segments of birchwood weighs anywhere between 150 and 400 pounds each, depending on diameter. Multiply this by the 19 segments this sign is comprised of, and we have a whopping total range of 2,800.
So the SOS sign was made by logs that were like 16 feet. It was made out of 19. And they range from anywhere from 150 to 400 pounds. This was not no human that made that sign. That's right. It was either Bigfoot or aliens. I don't think Bigfoot's doing all this. And there'd probably be some big footprints. You know what I'm saying? I feel like aliens are smart enough to cover their tracks. But why would they just build a SOS sign? Or a bodybuilder. You're right. Now you're thinking. Now you're thinking.
150 and 7,600 pounds of total weight making up this sign. So with this information, we're left to assume that a 5'3" female with fractured bones had the energy and strength to not only cut down 19 massive trees with tools that were never found, but also had the stamina to transport anywhere between 1 and 3 tons of weight completely by herself. Let's not forget either that all of this was done after taking a treacherous 2.6-mile diversion down the south side of the mountain, undoubtedly causing considerable exhaustion from the elements. Without help, constructing this sign alone is an extraordinary feat, a feat that doesn't add up given the context here. So was this person actually alone, or was there perhaps someone else that died there with her?
Bro, what? What built it and why?
Alright guys, before we continue down the rabbit hole, I'd like to tell you about tonight's video sponsor.
Do that on your own time, my boy. Get back to the scheduled program. L promo? Trying to promo on my shit? Get up out of here.
It's late at HQ, and investigators are scouring for clues. Of everything they uncovered, the cassette tapes seem to be the most promising lead on uncovering the identity of this woman. And so, they put them in their tape player and begin to listen. As they play, they're met with musical tracks taken from various anime TV shows. However, once they make it to the last one, something strange gives them pause.
Alright. Can anybody translate? I don't know. I have no idea. All I know is that it didn't sound good. It didn't sound good, and I don't think that was part of the song. It's about to go down.
Despite the bones being female, the voice on this recording, clearly in distress, belongs to a man.
What does it mean? What did they
And
say?
the translation: SOS, help me. I'm stuck on the cliff. SOS, help me. I'm at the location where I first met the helicopter. The Sasa is deep and I can't climb up. Please pick me up here. Interesting.
Bro, what the fuck? Somebody said, damn, she said all that? I heard there was like 3 words. It was, But it's a dude, not a girl. So the girl body that they found with the cassette tapes on them, but it's a dude screaming. Hopefully they make it make sense.
Aside from the blatant parallels to the SOS sign, I can't help but find it strange that this man uses not a single phrase implying that he's with someone. I don't know about you, but if I were stranded somewhere with another person, I'd plead for someone to help us, because we are the ones stuck here. In this
I feel like that's the last thing that I'd be worried about. I don't think that I think that'd be the last thing I'm worried about. Like I might slip up and say like help me, help me, help me, but that doesn't mean like for sure that somebody, you know what I'm saying? I wouldn't think too deep into that.
this recording, though, it sounds as if he's completely alone, unaware that a female is stranded in the exact same area. Almost like, to him, this female doesn't exist. The woman who the bones belong to and the man who the voice belongs to almost exist in a vacuum. Remnants of two people discovered in the exact same spot, completely unaware of the other's existence. The only thing tying them together, an SOS sign nearly impossible for one person to build, and whispers of an agonizing death. A sight of demise that we are years too late with uncovering.
What the fuck? And this all happened in the span of 2 days. We're only on the third day.
Fascinated by this case, a Japanese reporter named Koyo Abaratani sets out to the site of the SOS sign in search of any clues the police may have overlooked. While uncovering anything new was one hell of a long shot, surprisingly, after they dug through some tree roots, they actually uncovered something. Just 165 feet north of the SOS sign and hidden under foliage was a large hole containing various belongings. 2 cameras, a notebook, and most prominently, a license. This idea.
So all the cops, they missed, like, they found the soap. Got it. Toothpaste. Got it. Towel. Got it. On the scene, there was a person's ID. And one dude found it. But the whole squad didn't. They suck.
D belonged to a man named Kenji Iwamura, someone from Kanan City in southern Japan, over 800 miles south.
R.I.P. Kenji.
This discovery was massive because for all anyone knew, this was bound to be their guy. I mean, this had to have been the voice on the recording, right?
Mm-hmm.
And of course, this man must have been associated in some capacity with the female bones found at the same site. While she may be, up to this point, still unidentified, at the very least, those investigating this case finally had a name. Kenji Iwamura.
R.I.P. Oh, now we taking it back.
It's the middle of summer, and 24-year-old Kenji Iwamura sets out for Mount Asahidake.
Okay, guys, I would not leave somebody I'm stranded with. But if I slip up and say, help me, and then somebody I'm with is like, why didn't you say me too? I'm going to be like, bitch, it's not really a big deal right now. I'm trying to get some help. And if the help comes, I'm not just going to dip and leave you. All right, back to Kenji.
For a short hiking trip. He arrives at a small mountain lodge at the base of the summit and only plans to be there for a couple nights. Later on, he informs the hotel owner that he's embarking on a hike, ignoring warnings of a storm that would hit the area that night. Hesitant, the owner agrees, and so Kenji sets off from the hotel lobby and embarks into the great unknown. As time ticks by, the sky darkens. The hotel owner becoming increasingly anxious and with no way to contact him to confirm how he's faring in this unstable weather. Hours pass without a word from him. The storm comes and goes. The clock approaches. Days pass without a word from him.
Damn.
Weeks come and go. Kenji Iwamura never turned up. He was never seen again. With the discovery of Kenji's ID, police were certain that they'd crack this case. Reportedly, determining gender from bone fragments isn't always accurate, and for all they knew, they had to belong to him. From here, they tracked down and contacted Kenji's family, believing that this was the final piece of verification they needed to close this case. Their confidence was at an all-time high, catalyzed by his parents later claiming that he was an avid fan of anime and that the backpack they uncovered indeed belonged to him. And so, at last, the police played the cassette tape for them, certain that they'd recognize the voice of their son. And as fate would have it, by the grace of God, they didn't recognize this voice at all.
No shot.
They have no idea who this person is.
It wasn't Kenji?
With no evidence of foul play, Hokkaido police, bizarrely, continued to run with their theory.
Nah, remember they found the girl's backpack, yes, but then there was another bag that the other dude went solo after the cops, whatever. He went back to the scene, found a bag with the ID in it that was Kenji's, and like a camera and stuff like that. But dang. So that wasn't... What? So that's like a whole nother side quest of what happened to Kenji. We don't even know what happened to Kenji. We don't know about what happened to the girl. We don't know who put the SOS stuff up there because it's too heavy for... Wow.
Theory that this sign was built by Kenji Iwamura. They cast aside the consensus about the bones, the lack of identification with the voice, and simply ran with it. It took just 11 days for them to close this case, and to this day, the mystery surrounding the SOS sign has been cast into the void of history, solved to them, yet completely bewildering to the world surrounding them. By 1990, the bones were re-examined, and the consensus underwent a surprising change. Reportedly, they never belonged to a woman with type O blood, but rather a man.
What?
With type A.
Hold on. They got everything wrong? She didn't even have the same type blood. This is all messed up. I feel like this all comes down to the first cops that were on the scene. They didn't find the ID. They didn't find none of that. They're like, look, it's a girl. She's like 20 to 40. She's about 5'3", give or take. She got blood type O. Can I go home now? They just guessed. It wasn't even girl bones.
Why the hell were the bones suddenly reclassified? Who was the man recorded on Kenji's tapes? How were these massive trees carried and placed by just one person? And how were these trees chopped down at all? Taking a broader look at the landscape, we've established that the site of the SOS sign was reached by a diversion from the main Mount Asahidake trail. As we've seen, though, multiple hikers have done this. So how have they all made the exact same mistake? So, as it turns out, there's an incredibly confusing landmark on the mountain. It's a boulder called Safe Rock, and it's typically used by climbers to orient themselves on their trek, as once you encounter it, you're required to take a right turn to continue your journey to the peak. Bizarrely, however, there sits another identically shaped boulder right next to Safe Rock called Fake Safe Rock. Unlike the former, using this one
That
as a
sucks.
guide diverts hikers to the much more dangerous south side of the mountain.
Imagine that. Imagine you're following this trail that's supposed to be like dangerous, but you're like, oh, that's Safe Rock. You take a right. But there's a fake Safe Rock. And if you take the right, you're doomed. That's some. I ain't never going to Japan, I'll tell you that.
Terrain littered with steep cliffs and intense grades filled with a specific type of bamboo, known locally as sasa. In recent years, Fake Safe Rock has been marked with a rope to signal that you shouldn't follow it. However, to this day, hikers often misinterpret it for the actual Safe Rock, adding even further confusion to an already disorienting situation.
Just get rid of the rock.
I'm sure you're finding this convoluted as I'm explaining it to you. Now imagine if you were faced with this dilemma while exhausted, in the wild, and completely alone. To this day, it's believed that both the Tokyo hikers and Kenji Iwamura made this mistake, leaving them both to be stranded and completely helpless. So with this in mind, let's go forth and entertain the idea that Kenji Iwamura was the only one involved here. Let's just say that everything belongs to and was done by no one but him.
It's cap.
So it went a little something like this. Kenji Iwamura begins his trek from the lodge and makes his way up the Asahidake Trail. Because of the impending storm, it's possible that there are few hikers up on the mountain. He makes his journey all the way up before the sky darkens and dense fog rolls in. He encounters the fake Safe Rock, confusing it for the real one, and makes a right turn, leading him south.
Good night,
As the
Lisa.
day bleeds by, he begins to panic, the sky darkening as his psyche becomes ever more anxious. He recognizes not a single thing about the path he's on, and it becomes rapidly clear to him that he's venturing nowhere near the summit. Completely turned around and with no other choice, he continues, following some semblance of a path, even though it's only heading down.
Damn.
Is he heading back to camp? Are there any towns in this direction? Where exactly is he going? As hours pass, he becomes more panicked and begins screaming for help, for anyone to hear him. He falls off a cliff on the way down and breaks 2 bones, and so, in immense distress, pulls out his Sony Walkman to record an SOS message and later plays it on repeat to save himself from damaging his voice. As he continues to limp downward, he encounters and crosses the Chupetsu River before eventually landing at his final destination, the flat wetland where he would build the SOS and where the two would inevitably remain.
Yeah. That didn't happen. That whole, like, let's pretend it was just Kenji and this was, you know, he fell off this cliff, broke a couple of his legs, got up, built this 2,000-pound sign. There ain't no way. Unless Kenji, they're leaving out a little piece of information that he's been a bodybuilder his whole life. And he just picks shit up like that all day. That whole, like, let's pretend it's Kenji, cap. That did not happen. And whatever happened to the 2 people they saved in the beginning? I'm so confused. R.I.P. Kenji, though. Exactly. That's why I'm a homebody. You're never going to catch me in Japan. And first, just get rid of the fake rock. Why are we putting ropes around it? Get the dude that built the sign that's strong as hell, push over the rock, call it a day. There shouldn't be no fake rock on display. That's getting people murked. Get rid of the fake one.
You know, on the surface, this theory makes sense. However, when you begin to pick apart the finer details, this story rapidly falls apart. As we know, the only cliffs in the vicinity are up the mountain, and if these are what Kenji's referring to in his recording, assuming it's him, then he made it to the wetland with broken bones and in excruciating pain.
Alright, now they're reaching. This man fell off a cliff, broke a couple of his legs, brushed it off and walked it out, and built a heavy ass sign. Fuck.
Even if we give him the benefit of the doubt and say that he had every tool in the world, building a sign of this scale would take immense effort for just one person. It's been said that something like this would take 2 days to construct for someone healthy. So how in the world did Kenji do this while critically injured?
That boy's different.
There was no axe ever found. And why would he have one on a mountain hike anyway? On top of this, the condition of the bones indicated that he would have been incredibly frail by the time he passed away. There is no way this man made this thing alone, leading me to believe that Kenji Iwamura, perhaps, wasn't the only one to die there. Consider this. Kenji is on the hike, and somewhere during his climb, encounters someone else out there. The two are both on their way to the mountain peak, and so they pair up and continue their trek together. As the fog rolls in, the two begin to undergo equally critical errors, making their turn at fake safe rock and getting lost down the mountain's south end. Injured, one of them makes a recording while the other pleads to keep going. And so they continue downward, cross the river, and make it to the wetland where Kenji lies in agony. It's possible that this other hiker, for some reason, had an axe, and over the next few days, made this sign with incredibly limited help from Kenji. Kenji knows he can't go any further, though, and so, in a final fit of desperation, the other hiker grabs a handful of supplies and takes off to find them help. In a way, this could explain why police never found an axe. This could explain why the voice on the recording wasn't Kenji. And this, potentially, could explain how this sign was even made in the first place. The human body can go 3 days without water, and perhaps this unknown person used their last in a final push for rescue. At the end of it all, though, they would never make it, and instead would—
Yes, he robbed Kenji and left Kenji. We ride for Kenji.
would die a slow death. Surrounded by darkness, by wilderness, and in a forest. Completely abandoned. Perhaps their body is still out there, but we just haven't found it yet. It's a tragic end to someone who may not even exist, but goddammit, it's the only way this story makes any sense. Kenji Iwamura had to have gotten help from someone else on the mountain that night. There is just no way in which he couldn't have. I refuse to believe that there was just one person on Mount Asahidake that night. The circumstances are just too extraordinary for one to pull this off alone. The broken bones, the stranger on the tape, the rapid closure, Someone migrating literal tons of weight after vital injuries. Everything about this conflicts with the reality of the situation we've been given. These theories, as far-fetched as they are the only way this makes any sense in my brain. And even then, I'm still assuming that someone had an axe, assuming that an entire second person was there, and assuming that this other person died and was never found elsewhere on the mountain.
You're assuming a lot.
No matter which way we approach this, nothing makes sense without drawing vectors to things that may or may not have happened.
Aliens.
And to me, that's what makes this incident so incredibly perplexing. The man on the recording never stated that he was with someone. And even if we assume that Kenji wasn't alone, the only way this story makes any sort of sense, it's almost like the two of them never even knew the other existed. It's like two people encountered the exact same spot, just on completely different timelines. It goes without saying that we can theorize for hours about what took place on Mount Asahidake and how the SOS sign, given the evidence we currently have, shouldn't exist. But out of everything, the one detail that haunts me most about this is the simple fact that at the end of everything, the police have never formally identified the bones as belonging to Kenji. And this is after they were reclassified to belonging to a male, after this story spread to the world around them, and after the mystery surrounding the SOS sign and all of its bizarre inconsistencies had spearheaded this into one of the most captivating unsolved cases in history.
Damn.
There has never been an official answer as to who the bones belong to.
Damn, so they don't even, out of all this, the whole story with Kenji finding his ID on the scene, but not finding his remains. They do find some remains, but they don't know whose remains. Wow. That is Japan's strangest unsolved mystery. That's crazy. So we could recap this. Don't go to Japan. If you do, don't go hiking in Japan. If you do, make sure there's only a real rock and not a fake rock, because rocks look like rocks and it can get a little confusing. I don't know. I'm a homebody. I'ma stay in the crib. I don't know. R.I.P. Kenji though. That's crazy. Kenji's out in the mountains living his best life. Shit, I hope so. But who'd they find? That's crazy. They found somebody. And at first, the cops were like, she's about 20 to 40. It's definitely a female, about 5'3". Blood type is O, if anybody was wondering. And then a couple years go by, and they're like, nah, this is not even a female. It's a male. You got the blood type wrong. It's crazy. That's insane. They're like, 20 to 40, give or take. That's insane. I don't know. They still to this day have not identified the remains that they did find, which is crazy.